Hey, folks, you're live with Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop, and the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. And today I have a guest on the show, Compton Chronicles, folks. Somebody who I've been knowing for quite some time. And every time I say, I'm going to bring you on the show, and I keep on forgetting or getting caught up. But today we finally got her on the show, Miss Pauline Gipson, the president of the Compton NAACP. How you doing today, Pauline?
I'm great. How are you?
I cannot complain, Doctor. I'm just having a ball doing this Compton Entertainment Chamber, having fun talking to folks like yourself, going different places, and just doing what I do. Yesterday we had a conversation. And first of all, how long you been a part of the Compton NAACP?
So I joined the branch in 2008.
Okay. How long you been the president?
Since 2009.
Okay. How's the membership? You get a lot of support?
We just, you know what? This last 2 months, we doubled the membership only because it was election time.
Okay.
And we kind of encourage people to get involved because we let people know that the organization is built on membership.
Okay.
The branch is only as strong as its membership. So a lot of people, new people joined the branch. Most of them are older, but they joined because they saw the need. It was election time in the state of California, and they really wanted to be a part.
Okay. Now, you talking about state elections or the NAACP elections?
Well, we had both. The NAACP elections was on November 5th, and it was ran by national. And then, of course, the state elections were November 8th.
Okay. Now, the NAACP is some initials that's been around for, 50, 60 years now? Quite some time, right?
113.
Okay, I'm a little short. 113 years. What do you see different? I see some differences in the NAACP from the past and NAACP present. What difference do you see since you've been the president or been involved in the NAACP?
Well, prior to me getting involved in 2008, I was aware of the NAACP, but I didn't grow up knowing about the NAACP. Okay. My mom and my family wasn't involved in politics. They wasn't involved in anything. And I've always been a rebel and an activist. So I called the NAACP when I had an issue in Torrance. And it just didn't seem like I was able to get any help. So then I'm also a minister, and I'm also a veteran. So I just felt like the need to get involved as opposed to complain about it. Okay. I thought I needed to be about it. So I joined the Compton branch because that's the only branch that I seen that was around. I saw a gentleman with a t-shirt on. So I joined the Compton branch. Since I've been involved in the branch, I've learned a lot of things that people thought it should be doing is not what it does.
What do people think it should be doing that it's not doing?
So, first off, I think people thought it was a government-funded entity that had lawyers and that had money and had all this stuff and is able to help the community. When I became the president, Compton branch had no money, no office, no nothing. Phone was disconnected. So I had to build a branch from the beginning. I didn't know that. I'm thinking I'm a part of this organization, even though when I went to my first meeting, there was only 4 people there. Okay. When I called other branches, a lot of the phones were disconnected because I know now as the president, it takes money, it takes resources, but it takes volunteers. We don't have attorneys unless they volunteer and want to be a part. Okay. We don't have money for attorneys, but everybody thinks that we do.
Okay. Interesting. So where are you guys located in Compton now? You have an office now?
So we don't have an office. We meet at New True Faith, a church. Prior to us, the pandemic, we're on Zoom the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
Before the pandemic, we were meeting regularly at Faith Inspirational with Pastor Owens.
Okay.
He volunteered to let us use his church. We were meeting every third Saturday at his church. We will be opening back up now for in-person meetings going forward in 2023. And we'll be at New True Faith, which is 1226 East 149th Street in Compton.
Okay, fantastic. You said your membership just doubled. Doubled to what? How many people
you have? We have now over 100 members that are active members.
That's good.
A lot of branches are much larger, and we're one of the smaller branches.
Okay.
Compton should be a larger branch, But it's like anything else. People don't seem the need to be a part because they just want to be able to call it when they want it. They don't care how it survives. They don't care how it functions or operate. They just want it to be there when they need it. And it's not like that.
Now, what are some of the issues that you had to address as the president of the Compton Compton NAACP?
Well, of course, it's always the same stuff. Criminal justice system. We got issues with education. We got health disparities. One of the things that I've started doing under my leadership, I have a great group of people right now working with me. We started Court Watch.
Okay.
And I went to the branch before the pandemic about Court Watch because a lot of times we see people in the court system, in our community, the justice system is so unfair and corrupt. So with Court Watch, what we started doing was we just randomly pick a court and we show up in court. I take 3 business cards, one for the judge, one I give to the prosecutor, and one to the public defender, just to know we're in the room and know we're watching.
Okay.
I find that's working. We've had some cases thrown out. We have people come to us and say, you know what, I'm glad y'all here. But it takes volunteers. So everybody that comes there with us, they volunteering. Okay. So we try to do is make sure they don't have to pay for parking or lunch or whatever. But it's hard to get people to even come out when they're not getting paid for stuff.
Right.
But we're getting it done. And a lot of us are just taking our time and volunteering.
Okay.
It's for volunteers.
That's a good thing. That's a real good thing. You guys have any youth programs, anything that you're dealing with as far as the youth?
So we have a lot of youth in our thing. So this is what we voted to do. We voted to start a youth entrepreneurship program. We're working with Reggie Grant, a former NFL player. Reggie Grant, esports. I don't know if you know of Reggie Grant, but Reggie has a curriculum that teaches how to start your own business, how to market it, how to fund it, how to present it, how to do everything right. So we adopted that program. We've been talking to some members and some educators about how to teach the young people. So our goal is to have it up and running by the summer so that it's like a 6-week course that we have. We have Reggie's curriculum and it would teach them everything they knew. And at the end of the 6 weeks, we will we've talked to Eugene Bennett at the grocery outlet.
Okay.
He's agreed to allow us to use his space where we will set up the businesses, and it'll be like a swap week where everybody in the community will be able to come there and patronize those kids and their businesses. And that's, to me, the reason why I brought that to the branch, because I feel like when we own our community, we have more pride in our community when we take ownership of it. When you don't have to look for a job when you create your own job. You'll be able to create jobs for your family members or people coming out of jail. You don't have to worry about if another company hire a felon because it's your company. You hire who you want to.
Right. I get you.
So our goal is to try to get 25 youth to start their Black businesses within the city of Compton.
Fantastic. That's a good thing. Now, speaking of youth, I got to say something. When I was a kid, okay, growing up in Compton, I grew up in the Black exploitation era, the 70s, okay? And I don't know if you're old enough to remember the 70s like I do, okay? But in the 70s, we had a lot of crazy movies. We had all the Nigga Charlies and whatever the case may be, Pam Grier movies and the Jim Brown movies and all them Dolomites or whatever. And a lot of those movies, you would always get some nudity real quick, okay? Pam Grier was quick to take her top off in a minute. She'd be fighting. Oh, come on, whoop your ass. Anyway.
Right.
I remember the NAACP stepped in and I think it was about 1972, 1973 and said no more Black exploitation movies. Okay. And I was mad. I was, as a 16-year-old kid, I was highly upset because I got to saw female body parts. I like female body parts, okay? And I'm mad at the NAACP, but I realized later on they were looking out for my better judgment, my well-being, put it that way.
Right.
And I'm seeing right now a lot of things are going on in the entertainment, and nobody's stepping up to say anything anymore. Nobody really cares about what's going on. It seems like nobody really cares. I belong to a couple of hip-hop organizations, and we're making some changes to 2023. Meanwhile, our kids are dying on a daily basis. And I'm just curious why the NAACP doesn't have the same aggressiveness they had back in the 70s. Did we just conform to everything is going to be all right? This or what?
You know, sometimes our people, it's not just the NAACP, our people have gotten complacent. The stuff that, you know, we don't teach our kids like we used to. There are certain things that we did as kids that, you know, our parents did not allow. These kids are now doing whatever they want to do. But the same thing with society. As long as we are harming ourselves and going after ourselves, people that really want to destroy us, all they got to do is sit back and watch.
Sit back and pick up the pieces. I totally agree. Just
yes, so it's like, but even with the NAACP, it's like the leaders today, we have different kind of leaders. See, I'm the kind of leader, so I'm about the people. I was Black before I was anything else, so I'm proud to be Black, and I'm about my people. But I teach my kids that too. Be about your people. It's not about you. It's about somebody else. But then too many other people are about their own personal agendas. Too many Black people in leadership, whether it's the NAACP, where it's our politicians, it takes a collective effort. But if everybody is about their own agenda and their own personal thing, then you forget about the people. So we need more leaders that are concerned about the people as opposed to being concerned about themselves.
I totally agree, darling. I totally agree. Yeah, you know, it's very disheartening to be to look back and look at for my expertise, which is music and entertainment, to know what I did coming up and realize that nowadays what I did as a young man, putting 200 to 500 kids in a room and charging them $2 or $3 a head, I can't do that no more. Nobody can do that no more because these little son guns nowadays are dangerous. You can't it's hard to put them in the dark without somebody getting beat up or shot or whatever. So it's really, but again, a lot of our influences is coming from some of the things that we hear. We're kind of inundated with negativity and murder and people have a tendency to, well, Black people kill people closer to them. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. White people kill white people.
Exactly.
But we're the only ones that made it a whole culture. We're the only ones that made it a whole culture for our people to be destroyed at the hands of our own people. Yes, everybody does it. Chinese, Asians, whatever the case may be, everybody does it, but nobody does it at the rate. One thing about us, if we gonna do something, we're gonna do it like nobody else. Okay, and that's whether it be sport, entertainment. We're the biggest and the best, and here we are. Like you just said, we're the best at our own self-destruction. And if you say something to anybody, you mess around there and you'll get canceled, or you'll get hated on, or you just mad they're making more money. Well, they are making money, but is everything for profit? And that's my question. You know, is everything strictly for profit? And I don't think that's where it's supposed to be.
No, but it shouldn't be that way. But also, collaborations work. So it's not just the NAACP issue, it's a societal issue. So where are our churches? So what I've done, we just had our election, and I brought on individuals. So this is what I did with the Compton branch. I picked the leaders in the Compton branch because I don't like mess. And I think for the organization to grow and thrive, we need to have people that work together for the same common cause and agenda. So I picked the leaders that I think, and I tell them to run for office. Now, you may not always win, but at least try. But so far, our team that we had ran this time, a good team, we brought on a religious leader, a religious chair that's going to be his job starting 2023 is to organize the churches. Because we know, I'm also a minister, he's a minister, several of us are ministers. But our thing is, the church has got to be more bolder than what they've been doing. The church has got to come out of the four walls. So even the NAACP, the churches need to be involved in the NAACP. We just use this organization to make right things in our community. It's giving us an organization that we could use that's already established, already there, been around for 113 years. We ought to be able to have some clout and some power with that name alone. So what I've done, I've brought in a religious chair and I've asked him to reach out to the churches, work with the pastors so that when we need to deal with our young people or even our community, we're stronger because most Black people go to church. A lot of them go to church. They're going to be, if they'll be anywhere, they're going to be at church.
Right.
So if we could organize the pastors to talk to the people and be a part of social justice, because not just in the criminal system, a lot of our families are being divided and destroyed with the children's services. Let me move our kids out of our home and they put them in a foster care system that nobody care about them. Rather than take the kids out of their home and put them where you can't even watch them, don't care about them, get their family some help. They'll rather take the kids out the home as opposed to get some mental health issues for the home, whatever the function is going on. At least you know somebody in there love them. You take them out of their homes and then you don't know what's going on with them. Our family structure is being divided. Our kids, our men are going to jail and prison. We're getting these large sentences, right? They get 20 years where everybody else might get 2 or 3. We need, and then voting. We vote on issues and laws that hurt us every day. Because we don't know what we're voting for. We don't know about the judges that we voted on. So I promised my team going to 2023, one of the reasons why we're doing a court watch, we want to do a better job of educating our community on voting for issues that affect them, whether it's dealing with health issues or criminal justice or whatever the issue is. If it affects us on a daily basis, we need to make the right informed decision about it. If we can get the churches involved, if we can build the branch to where we actually, when we show up at court watch, 20, 30 people show up in the courtroom telling the judge, no, you're not giving our kids life. You're not giving our Black men life when everybody else is getting rehab for some drug stuff. Now, I'm not a big fan of Gascon. Okay. But I think that we need to do something better as Black people. We can't condemn other people and then we're not stepping up to the plate. We need to groom people in our community to run for office, whether it's the mayor, elected official on the city council, whether it's the congressperson, they coming right from the community. We need to groom them. Stop letting other people pick our leaders for us. We can't let other people decide what's best for us. We need to know what's best for us. We need to have leadership groups that's grooming our kids in elementary school.
I told you.
You know what? You could be the next mayor of the city. We're going to make sure you do it. We're going to get behind you, put the money behind you, pick our own leader. And then you coming against that, we're going to kick you to the curb. We're not going to have 15 people running for mayor. Knock it off. We already pick our leaders. We're going to start doing it. And that's what we need to do as a team collectively. Stop sitting back, letting somebody else do it. We got to start taking ownership of what we haven't done and what we need to do. And we can't really blame the NAACP because that's just a name. Who is the NAACP? It's us.
People, us.
If you're not a member of the NAACP, don't criticize it because that means you're criticizing some volunteers. They doing more than you doing because at least they putting their money where their mouth is. They paying to be a part. When I one time I sat down with my vice president, I spent thousands of dollars of my own personal money to keep the Compton branch afloat, just to make sure it was in compliance. Before I became the president, I'm the first woman president. And I wanted to make sure when my legacy go down in history, it's going to say something. It's not going to just say, oh, Pauline was the president. No, it ain't going to just say that. They're going to say my grandmother made a difference.
Okay.
The branch had not been in compliance over 15 years before I became president.
Wow.
It's been in compliance every year since I've been the president. I didn't just dream it up. What I did, I asked, how do I get the branch in compliance? I didn't even know they had bylaws and rules that connect us to national. No. We got to follow the rules. National set the standard. People don't like me sometimes. They say, you know what, y'all ain't doing nothing. I'm doing it exactly what national tell me to do.
Okay. Now,
that's all I can do.
Yesterday, we had a brief conversation. You mentioned people had some problems with the NAACP. What problems do people have with the NAACP, and why do you think they have those problems?
Because people only call the NAACP when they need it, when they think they need it.
Okay.
I got fired from my job. Well, they got EOC for that. They got unions for that. You pay your union thousands of dollars, and they don't do nothing for you. And then you don't pay the NAACP nothing and want it to work a miracle for you. With the NAACP, it's as strong as the membership, right? So if you just like you feed your dog got to eat.
Right.
You got to feed your dog. If your dog don't eat, your dog gonna be a sorry dog and a po dog. Well, if you don't take care of your NAACP, it's gonna be a sorry NAACP and a po NAACP. So have you fed your dog lately?
Right.
Have you fed the NAACP? Do you put your money where your mouth is? Your time, your effort. I've even told people, I pay for your membership because I need the people to come out. When I say go to court, I need y'all to go to court. It is not my kid I'm going there for. I'm going there for your kid. There are parents that call us to help with their kid, and then I tell them, why little Johnny out at 11 o'clock at night? Why little Johnny ain't in the bed? They don't want to talk about that. They mad at the sheriff for shooting little Johnny at night or arresting little Johnny, but they can't tell me why 10-year-old little Johnny is not at school. We don't want to take ownership. You got to own your shit like anybody else.
Yo,
if you ain't doing stuff, you got to own it. If my kids wasn't going to school, that's my problem.
Right.
Because I'm the one that raised them. I'm the one. They didn't come here being bad. I let them get that way. Or either I whooped their butt and dealt with it. See, as parents, as community leaders, as churches, we you know what? We need to have a roundtable discussion. We need to have a meeting before the meeting, and it shouldn't be televised. We need to have a come to Jesus meeting with all Black people that call themselves leaders in our community. Call them on the carpet. If we got Black leaders taking money and not giving back to the community, we'll keep voting the same people back in office over and over and over. And then complain they're not doing nothing. Well, I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at us. Because you voted for your friends. You voted for people that you like. But you know they're not doing the job. So at some point, we got to take ownership.
Yeah.
Even within the NAACP.
All right. You said it. I ain't mad at you. We can't even get into a debate because I agree with you. Okay. Shit. You sound like Lonzo with a curl.
Well, that's a good thing. I'm in good company then.
No, baby, you know, and and that's why we formed this hip hop alliance out of New York. It's a group of us, old school guys. Curtis Blow, KRS-One, Chuck D, bunch of us. I mean, on the calls we have like 90 to 100 people sometimes. Folks here on the West Coast as well, and we realize we have to step up. We can't just sit back and let these kids destroy something that we built, and meanwhile destroy themselves. Meanwhile, we talking about Black Lives Matter, but if they don't matter to us, how they gonna matter to anybody else? And that's just a simple fact. And I'm sorry, anybody don't like that. You know where to find me at. Anywhere in Compton. Okay. If Black lives don't matter to us, why would they matter to anybody else? Exactly. And I know the police get paid to do a job, blah, blah, blah. But little nut and little boo killed Junebug and everybody else by the dozens. Ain't nobody marching, nobody don't say shit. Oh, that's part of the game. My question is, what part of the game, what game is it we always play that we always lose? Right. Why are we in games that we always lose? We can't.
Don't change it up. Keep playing it the same way.
You think the dope game ain't for you. It ain't going to work for you. Everybody wants to be the next Nino Brown. Nino Brown got killed. He didn't win. Okay. And these youngsters have a tendency to think they can win from, I don't know, make a little bit of money for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And that's supposed to be a life. But by the time you get 40, you did 10 years in jail. Now you a broke ass old man. You ain't got in the show for all that time, all that money you spent. Dude, you got to win the whole game, not just part of it. You can't win up until halftime and then say, you didn't win. You lost. Exactly. Okay, you didn't win. If you only win the first 3 quarters of the game and the fourth quarter you lost, then you ain't won. You were just ahead of the game for a while. And that's the part they're not understanding. You got to win to the end, baby. You got to win to the end.
That's true. Everything we got to do is police our own community. We got to start policing our community. We don't hold nobody accountable. So we had an issue, as you know, with the sheriff. So we glad he out. You know, we did our press conference at the NAACP. We met with him many times, caught him on the carpet. I did several press conferences asking him to resign because I feel like this. The sheriff is coming in. We need to have a meeting with him at the beginning and let him know we want sheriffs from our community. So what we do, our little kids in elementary school, They have career day. We need to make sure that they start working with our kids, not just arresting them, not just jacking them up. Our kids need to see something different. They need to see you when they're at their little football game. Police get involved with that. Get more Black officers from the community. We need, and now how you do that? You got to get our Black kids to start trusting them. He asked me a question. Villanueva asked me, how do we get more kids involved in our youth? Well, first off, if the only time Black kids see you is when you harassing them, arresting their daddy and jacking them up, they're not going to trust you.
Right.
If they see you in a positive light, when they're doing something positive, come out. We're doing on December the 10th, it's the Christmas parade. After that, they're having the YAL toy drive. You know, we're going to be over there after that, the YAL toy drive, giving our kids. But my thing is this: when the kids see the sheriff operating in a positive note, like they did with Pastor Owens, when they come out in elementary school, junior high, high school, come to their football games, I mean, just like as a regular person, not harassing them, not messing with them, but supporting them, giving back to the community, then y'all become friends with them. They know you, become personal. When they do something, bring them to their mama.
Right.
Like they used to do back in the day. Then they get to know who you are. Black police officers, don't be so loyal to be blue and forget you Black.
Right. Amen.
So you was Black before you was blue. So knock it off. You need to make sure don't forget where you come from. Come back to the neighborhood and let the little kids know. Don't be in a gang when you could do this. These are some good paying jobs that you don't have to have a college degree to get.
Have you met the new sheriff in Compton, Terrence Bell?
No, I haven't met the new sheriff. No, I haven't.
I met him. He's like a pretty decent guy. I met him a couple times on different occasions. He has a program they're doing for Christmas called Shop with a Cop, and they're taking a bunch of kids shopping for Christmas. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
And it's supposed to be. They can start next week. I told him I'm gonna come out there and videotape some of his activities. I'm trying to get an interview with him, but he has to go through the red tape to get an interview. But as soon as he gets his clearance, he'll be on the show. And he seemed like a decent guy. Okay. I've worked with several captains from the sheriff department in Compton. Started with Cecil Rambo and a few others. And this guy seemed like he's here to make a difference. He wants to have a positive impact in the community other than just lock everybody up. And I think you guys definitely should meet. And if I can introduce you, I definitely will.
Well, one of the things is, and I just from experience, the captains of the stations, they do what they can do. But the top dog is the sheriff, right? Right. And their hands are tied. And a lot of times, that's their job. So we can't expect them to do something that's going to jeopardize their livelihood, right?
I understand.
They're going to do, and see, this is how I do it with my team. I keep it real with my people. I keep it real with my Compton branch officers. I let them know this. So I'm not going to put somebody's job. If I got a real problem, I go after the sheriff. Because that's the only one. You know, I remember, and I'm not trying to be cocky or whatever. Bosses deal with bosses.
Right.
Shot callers deal with shot callers. Right. So if you got to get permission, like I might send my vice president to meet with him. Because she got to come back and ask me what we're going to do. He got to go back and ask the sheriff what he's going to do. Now, if I'm going to meet with somebody, I want to meet with the sheriff. Because if I tell him what we need, I'm going to be able to say, Lonzo, the sheriff said we could do this.
Okay.
It's going to happen. Because he's going to call that sheriff, that captain, make sure it happens. So we need to make sure we have the right alliances and the right relationships.
All right. As
people of color. When we want to deal with people in our community, we want to deal with the top dog that's making decisions. Because if we got an issue, like we've had so many times with that gang over in that Compton Sheriff Department, the captain can't do nothing about that gang over there. But the sheriff can.
All right.
And if he can't, we vote him out.
All right. You listening to Pauline Gipson, the president of the Compton. Paulette. I want to get you Pauline on my phone. Paulette Gipson, president of the Compton NAACP branch. Paulette, where can they find you at, darling?
Actually, Compton NAACP, 310, their number 310-763-2002. You can reach us on Facebook, Instagram, social media, or you can reach me, Paulette Simpson Gipson.
All right.
On all the social media platforms.
All social media platforms. We have it. Thank you for the conversation, Donna. We'll be back again. Much love to you. Hair looking good too, girl.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right, y'all. Pauline Gipson, y'all live here with Lonzo. We're out of here, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Pass the word, please, y'all. Download the app. We have an app, Pauline. I want you to download it too. We have an app called the Compton ENT Chamber. It's available on Android and iPhone. Download the app. If you have a meeting coming up, email me the link, email me the flyer. I'll put it on the app. Make sure it gets out to the folks. We want to blow this app up. We need to have some way of communicating here in Compton. Facebook is fine, Instagram is fine, but we don't control that. I can control what happens on the Compton Entertainment Chamber app. So please, folks, download the app. It don't cost a dime to download the app. Follow us on Facebook. Share this video with your folks. We're on Instagram too. We do Compton ENT Chamber everywhere, folks. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the above. Thank you very much, Paulette.
All right.
Happy holidays, baby. Peace.
Okay, you too.
All right.